Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about the new Star Wars TV shows and films that are around the corner by Disney and Lucasfilm as well, that will be unveiled at D23 and Disney Plus Day in just a short number of months. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new Star Wars universe is that we have a lot of creators out there like Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Peyton Reed, and of course Stuart Beattie, who is in the talks to come back not just for Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2, but also for other Star Wars TV series out there to help co-write those shows. So, Stuart Beattie is a very, talented writer, and it would be very nice for him to agree to come back on board. Now, with that being said, everything related to the new Star Wars universe is that everything is being cherry-picked from Star Wars Legends, at least of what's being handled by John, George, and Dave, which is going to be the majority moving forward. Alright, so that's the good news. The one thing that a lot of fans have been very skeptical about is, of course, everything rooted to Kathleen Kennedy, such as TV shows out there like Skeleton Crew, and of course the Acolytes Star Wars TV series, which by the way begins filming by this November if they can keep on schedule. Now, on top of all of this, there's been a lot of things happening behind the scenes between actor Pedro Pascal and Kathleen Kennedy, and exactly how it involves the character of Jaron and a specific Star Wars TV show that Pedro now wants to quit from because of certain reasons that we will be going over one by one in this post. So, moving beyond all of this, alright, what's even all the more intriguing about the scenario is that, of course, with actor Pedro Pascal now working on The Mandalorian Season 3 and beginning work with 4 as well, with, of course, John and Dave behind the scenes, with additional filming set to begin for Mando 3 in the next couple of weeks as well. Creators Favreau and Filoni have been gearing up for the Ahsoka Tano TV series for Disney Plus and other shows. Now, it's described, however, that Pedro Pascal wants to quit from a specific Star Wars TV series that Kathleen Kennedy is working on, that she is planning to bring in Jaron in the form of a cameo. Now, it's noted that Pedro Pascal now wants to quit from the Skeleton Crew Star Wars TV show as Jaron, as he believes for what he is being paid for a glorified cameo in the series is nowhere near enough or close to what he was requesting and demanding to be paid. Now, Pedro wasn't going to begin filming his cameo until the fall of this year for Skeleton Crew as Jaron, given that filming is set to last all the way until this December, with the Acolyte also slated to begin filming in November, just 1 month before. However, Pedro now wants to quit from the Kathleen Kennedy project, since his cameo is not only paying way less than he expected, which is of course currently mysterious as to how much he was offered by Disney, but that they are not open to negotiate a pay increase, and so Pedro Pascal is now warning Disney that he will leave from the Skeleton Crew series if nothing is changed. The major cameo for Jaron is said to involve a point in time where Jaron actually rescues the teenagers from a ruthless bounty hunter that is on the hunt for something that the kids are hiding and transporting across the galaxy. And Jaron was set to come in and take down this bounty hunter to save the children. What the bounty hunter is after is said to be something very special to the Jedi, which could very well indicate that this show is about teenage Padawans, as opposed to just Lost Force sensitives. So, before I get on to the next material, which really escalates things, about the Skeleton Crew Star Wars series, alright, we already know that this show is already a little bit of a mess. I mean, they have some rewrites underway, and that could very well lend credit as to exactly what's happening with Pedro Pascal behind the scenes, and we already know that Skeleton Crew is going to have a handful of cameos. Kathleen Kennedy wants to do that to kind of make her show stand out, kind of like what they did with Mando 2 and the Book of Boba Fett with the cameos. Basically, Kathleen Kennedy, given that she has full creative power over this series, she wants to do the same exact thing with multiple cameos in the Skeleton Crew Star Wars series. The fact that these kids are hiding something or transporting something very valuable to the Jedi is very much, lending a lot of hints toward the fact that these are Padawans and not just Force-sensitive individuals. But I digress. Given that Pedro Pascal, alright, for the past number of months has been having a lot of drama behind the scenes with Lucasfilm and Disney, executives, etc., about, wanting to take off the helmet more and wanting a pay increase here and there. And the latest here is this glorified cameo that's slated to actually appear in the Skeleton Crew series is now pretty much on the line. Now, on top of that, this is described to be a point in time where Djarin does not know Grogu just yet, and is going into full bounty hunter mode against another bounty hunter, for some unknown reason in the show. However, now Pedro wants to cancel his appearance as Djarin from the Skeleton Crew series, which could very well explain the past talks about rewrites for the series about to take place in August. Now, Djarin doesn't destroy this bounty hunter per se in the scene, but somehow severely injures him and is said to be a very familiar bounty hunter from Star Wars Legends and also in the Star Wars canon that is supposed to take place. So that really does open up a lot of questions. Exactly who is Djarin going up against? Could it very well be somebody that, served the Empire? Could it be a bounty hunter working on his own? We're not quite sure about that just yet. But Djarin is supposed to be in Skeleton Crew, and that is now pretty much on the line and potentially going to get canceled because of Pedro Pascal demanding this pay increase that Disney does not want to negotiate. The reason being is that Disney has lost their faith in what Kathleen Kennedy does with Star Wars, at least when she has a creative hand in it, and they're really not all that optimistic about Skeleton Crew or The Acolyte, which is why you don't really hear all that much about it from the creators. You don't hear John Watts talking about Skeleton Crew. You don't hear Leslie Headland talking about The Acolyte all that much. And by the way, all of that is controlled by Disney on what the writers and directors are allowed to say, when they're allowed to say things, you name it. And that's why it's all suppressed, because they have little faith in these shows. Now, moving forward, alright, at first, Pedro was passionate about the scene that was planned to be a big 20-minute scenario for the series. However, now Kathleen Kennedy is trying to get Disney to negotiate with Pedro on a pay increase for his big cameo in Skeleton Crew, which, by the way, is also a post-Return of the Jedi story. However, Disney does not want to go over budget, given that they fear this project could be a failure, based on the fact that it is being completely run by Kathleen Kennedy herself. Pedro has until this September to decide if he wants to quit from the series or not under Disney to make things final. So, obviously, there's a lot of things happening with the Skeleton Crew series. I'm not all that excited about it. I mean, sure, it may sound a little interesting on paper. It's about these teenage Padawans or Force sensitives, whatever they really are, lost in the galaxy trying to find their way home. What kind of obstacles they go through? Well, this is one of them, but there's going to be many obstacles that they go through. And this one might not even happen because of Pedro. And I think that Pedro just needs to lighten up with the whole, how much you're being paid type of thing, or the helmetless scenes, all these different things. I think he should just be very much, grateful the fact that he's involved in a Star Wars project. But I digress, guys. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. From night to moon we hear them moans again.